Welcome friends, and thank you for watching our first video. In a few moments I'm going to open in prayer, and then I'm going to invite my spirit friend named Brian to step closer and to blend his energy, his power, his light and his inspiration with mine as I gently go into my altered state of trance, in order that he can then bring forward, hopefully, his words of philosophy on behalf of the collective who work with him and with myself from the spiritual realms. And when he's finished, then he will gently step back from my awareness, and I will then close our video and our time together in prayer. So we would just say also that as you're watching this video, obviously it's not a live recording as you watch it, but nevertheless, we would just say and encourage you to notice what you notice what you feel, what you sense, in addition to perhaps changes that you may see as we are working. You will notice a change in my own voice, and that's because as my spirit friend Brian draws close, the power and the energy that they bring and their closeness just means that as they blend with me, they are able to gently impress their energy around my vocal cords and my voice box, and just bring those subtle changes. But it's important to say that at no point is anything occurring that I'm not happy with. I love our work, and these opportunities to come together are really, I feel, very sacred and wonderful, and it's just a joy to listen and share that which the next world have to share with us, especially at this time. So with all that said, we will now begin by opening in prayer. And again, if you feel to join us in that prayer, then that's lovely. And if prayer is not your thing, then that's absolutely fine too, of course. It's our own individual choice, but simply is something that we like to do just as a beginning to help us to focus towards the light of the divine and the eternal love and healing power that is ever present, and that we are able to share and transmit and channel through in this time. So we begin just by taking a breath together, and as best we can to put aside thoughts of the day and of our earthly lives, if it is our desire to do so. As we say, Divine Spirit, Mother Earth, Father God, we give thanks for this time that we are able to join together and engage with each other energetically. And even though in this time this will become a recording and will then not be live in the moment, we are reassured that nevertheless, you know at any given moment who may be watching and listening to your words and sharing in your light, your love and your healing power and your inspiration, all for our highest good. We take a moment to open our hearts and our minds to your light and your inspiration, to your truth, to your divine power, to your comfort, your upliftment, and all that you bring in such abundance to all of us. no matter where we may be throughout the world. We take a moment also to send out our healing thoughts to the whole world, to Mother Earth, to humanity, to the animal kingdom and the plant life and all life. And closer to home, we think of our own beloved families and friends, our colleagues, our dear pets, and all who are in need at this time, especially as we are living through such an extraordinary challenge as this virus that is so prevalent continues to impact our daily lives in so many different ways. We ask Divine Spirit for your help in helping us to keep taking one step at a time, embracing each new day as best we can, and as best we can also to face the challenges that are before us as best we can, to lift our eyes, our minds and our hearts and our whole being up to the heavens. We seek your inspiration, Divine Spirit, and your assistance at this time, perhaps more than ever. And we offer our deepest gratitude and are reassured that within your sight, all things are possible. And finally, I ask that as we share this time together, beloveds in your world, the spiritual realms, which some call heaven, and beloveds in the earthly world, I ask please that you help me to let go, and that you may please use me as your clear channel, in truth and love and humility with all that is said and done in this time of fellowship. And I now leave this time in your care and your keeping and your love. Amen. Dear ones, we thank you for your patience and for your openness and for your desire to receive the words that we wish to share with you this day. We are delighted to be present, to step forwards in this manner. And we understand, of course, that for some of you who have perhaps never witnessed this method of communication before. So let us say to you firstly that whilst it may seem to be quite extraordinary, quite curious perhaps, you may even think, let us say this to you in response that together with the meeting of minds and with the openness and the trust of our own dear one, our channel, we are able to step close to her awareness, to blend our thoughts together and transmit them through in an auditory fashion that you may hear our words. We feel it is of vital importance to say that our own dear one has not been taken over. She is not possessed, as you may understand this to be. At no point does her own spirit leave her own body to make way for those in our world, the spiritual realms. Her own spirit is perfectly placed within. And as we have stated, simply this method of communication is able to take place by her own openness and willingness to be of service to both worlds, you see. We are most keen to remove the mystery, you see, for even in the modern time of which you are living, of the 21st century, there is still, as we understand it, some aspect of mystery surrounding matters such as trance mediumship, and perhaps even mediumship as a whole, we would go so far as to say. How can it be that those who have left the physical earthly world and travelled onwards to another world, another plane, another sphere of existence are able to communicate? Simply, we say in answer to this question, born out of love and willingness and openness, we are able to draw close, and closer still, you see. We are most delighted to communicate with you and to embrace this modern technology. It is quite extraordinary to know that these words shall be on this computer device and which have the potential to be accessed at any given time. It is quite extraordinary. But you see, now more than ever, it is our desire to step forwards, bringing our messages, our love, our upliftment to you, if it is your desire to receive it. For you see, we shall never force anything upon anybody. It is not our intention to preach. It is simply our intention to offer with love and with healing for everybody, for all life in the earthly world. You may wonder why it is the case that we wish to do this. Simply because we are all one together. We are all permeating from that universal source of love and life and creation. And as it is the case that we have travelled onward and left the earthly world and have now arrived in this realm of light and peace and purity in such abundance, why on earth would we not wish to transmit this light to our beloveds in the earthly world? And of course, even to those who perhaps we never personally met in the earthly world. You are still all our brothers and sisters, and therefore it is our deepest desire to be of service. And likewise to bring forward philosophy and education in a transparent and concise fashion, you see. It is our desire in these recordings to speak to you, to share with you. And perhaps there is potential to invite questions at some other opportunity. We should also like to offer guided meditations to promote good health of the mind and of the body, and to gently encourage you to continue to focus upon the inner light of your being, however you perceive and understand it to be. And even if it is the case that you have not given it much thought, all is well, dear ones. For there is no such thing as a lost or missed opportunity. Simply the evolution of your life as it unfolds, day after day, and week and months and year after year, is exactly as is intended. And so therefore we should like to offer a variety of exercises which you may desire to take part in. Once more, all with the intention of love and of healing. And it is also our intention to focus upon that which we name to be healing transmissions, where we are able to transmit and radiate the light and the power from our world. Once more, by method of guided exercises and meditations. And once again, if you should desire to partake in such. You know that at this present time, there is great anxiety, great fear, and great unrest in the earthly world, as we understand it as a direct result of this virus that runs very prevalent upon Mother Earth throughout the globe, and the impact this has had, and how it cannot help but touch each individual in a different manner. It is quite extraordinary that you find yourselves in this position whereby perhaps you would agree that everything that you have known virtually has come into question, and a light has now been shone upon it in a different manner. And it is perhaps giving you a perspective on the life of which you were living several weeks previous, whereby you had the freedom to move, to travel, to interact, to work, to socialize, to undertake your leisure activities, and so forth. And now it is the case that you find yourselves to be within your homes, endeavoring to stay well and healthy in all respects. But you see, whilst this does appear to be on the face of it an enormous challenge, an enormous difficulty, which, as we have stated and as you full well know and understand, has generated much fear and anxiety as the storm clouds have gathered. But yet you see, we would ask you to consider this. There is great positive message within all of this. You have at your fingertips, so to speak, the opportunity to embody a slower pace of life, to immerse yourself in the time of which you have in a productive fashion, perhaps to explore your creative gifts that you have, whether this be artistically or musically. Perhaps you may have the most glorious singing voice, and even if it is the case you do not, you still have a song to sing, would you not agree? Likewise, there are many wonderful books, perhaps, that you may have been meaning to read over a period of time, but that has never occurred. Through your focus being very busily engaged elsewhere. And separate from these leisure pursuits and activities, there are your own dear beloveds, your family and friends. For those of you who are living in close proximity together, of course, this has naturally at times generated separate challenges and difficulties. We believe the modern expression to be cabin fever. But equally, you see, it has afforded you the opportunity to share in that time, to communicate with each other, if it is your desire to do so. And for those of you perhaps living physically by yourself in your own home, you are still able to communicate with those beloveds through your telephonic equipment, and if it is the case that you have these modern computer devices. But even if it is the case that you do not, then there is what perhaps you deem now to be good old-fashioned pen and paper. To communicate, to engage, to share in that precious time of communication together. We wish to say to all of you, dear ones, that you are not alone. Your beloveds who have travelled onwards to this higher realm, that which some name as heaven, very close, watching, bringing their love, their encouragement, their upliftment, as they ever did in the earthly world when they were there. You may wonder how this is possible, and once more we reiterate to you, they are able to be extraordinarily close through their love and their desire to be so. They bring their encouragement. They bring many smiles radiating towards you, enfolding you in their light. And we encourage you, if it is your desire, to reach out in your mind, in your thoughts, in your prayers. And as best you can be open to receive, to sense in your own unique manner exactly how close they are beside you. Dear ones, we know at this time also the very fact that your freedom is restricted does indeed create many frustrations. But again, we encourage you to focus upon the positive aspect as opposed to the negative frustration. It is our understanding that at this time many in the earthly world are calling into question their lives as a whole, the utilization of their time, and reviewing matters such as their careers, and likewise aspects of faith and beliefs, and also your own mortality. Once more, we encourage you to take stock and as best you can to allow this anxiety that you may be experiencing to pass, not in a dissimilar fashion from clouds that pass by in the skies above you. For you see, change is ever present, even though at this present time you may feel that day after day there is a great similarity due to the restriction of your freedom. But yet, upon the dawning of each new day, there is great opportunity to engage in howsoever a manner you choose to do so. As best you can, engage in your creative self, in your thoughts that you think, and the words that you speak, and the actions that you take. Continue to offer that kindness that you are, that you have, to engage with the compassion at the core of your being, to emit this light, this power that you have, so that it may continue to bring healing to all life in the earthly world. You may wonder how this is even possible, how each individual can make a difference. But yet you see, we say simply in response to this, that each individual is made of love, is made of light. Each of you is a blessed power, which is without beginning or end. To clarify this point, indeed there is a beginning and an end in the earthly world to the passage of your life in the physical body, but we are speaking of the eternal life of your spirit within. And therefore this power that you have can radiate out to the world, to all life, to bring healing, to move forwards in a positive manner for yourselves, for those that you love who are close, and for the wider world. Dear ones, we also bring our encouragement to you. Once more, to release this aspect of fear and anxiety as best you can. To know that as each day passes, positive change is occurring, even though you may not be able to witness it and know of it and experience it at that precise moment or on that exact day. You see, it is the undercurrent and the momentum and the power that you are, the spirit within, that cannot help but continue to move forwards, to progress, to evolve, ever on a mission to continue to awaken, to continue to learn, to continue to grow. So that one day, when you have left the earthly world and travelled onward, and when you have gained all the answers to all the questions, and reached that ultimate state of enlightenment, that should be a glorious day indeed. But yet you see there is much to do between now and then. And for the more immediate future, we say to you, take heart, reassurance and comfort in that as the passage of time continues to unfold, you each have the opportunity to continue to make your own choices, embodying your own free will in howsoever a manner that you desire. But we encourage you to cultivate positivity, even though it perhaps may seem an easy statement or suggestion to make and far more difficult to implement in the earthly world. Remember, you are light and you are spirit, and the resources that you have, the strength and the understanding, are forever about you. By bringing your focus and your intentions to the nurturing and the progression of your own light, then you cannot help but step forwards in a positive manner. Look at how far you have all come in your individual lives, the many, many pathways that you have taken, the many opportunities that have knocked at the door, so to speak, and equally those that you have instigated yourselves. For all the individuals, the beloveds, families, friends, those you have interacted with, those that you are interacting with, and those who are yet to come. It is glorious, this life and this existence that you have, even at this present time. Look to the light, look to the nature. The springtime in the natural world continues to unfold before you. Even if it may be, dear ones, that you are not able to touch it with your own physical fingers, then we still encourage you, even from your own homes, to spend time looking out of the windows to see the beautiful flowers, the glorious trees coming into bloom, the greenery that begins to flourish, the blossoms that appear in their glorious white and pink color, and the blessed creatures of the natural world, the tiniest birds who make their nests for the continuation of life. It is quite miraculous, would you not agree? Therefore, dear ones, look to the power of the nature. Reach out with the power of your thoughts and the intentions that you wish to receive, if indeed it is the case that you do. Open your window, fill your senses, enliven your body, and allow that light and the power of the divine to bring peacefulness, calmness, and healing, to release your anxieties and fears. We remind you once more that you are never alone. Truly you are not. And finally we say to you, dear ones, this day, go with love. And as best you can, go with joy. Take each day as it comes, and as best you can to continue to engage in a positive fashion for yourselves, for each other, and for the wider world. And together, as one, we shall move forwards to brighter days, even more so, to freedom and liberation, to a new way of life and of living. There is great potential, truly there is. Therefore, dear ones, continue to plant seeds of light so that they may be nourished by your own spirit, by the spirit and the power of the divine, to flourish, to thrive, and to continue to move into the fullness of life. We bring our blessings to you, dear ones. Until our next happy communication. Good day. So, I will just conclude our time, just joining in prayer together once more. As we say, Divine Spirit, Mother Earth, Father God, we offer our gratitude for this time that we have shared together, for the light that you have brought through from your world to our world. We thank you for your words, for your closeness, and for everything that you have brought in this time. And we ask now that as our time together draws to its close, that this light and this love, this healing power that you have so freely brought through, please be sent out to the world, to all life once more, to help us all as we continue to step forwards, taking one step at a time. Help us to continue to cultivate and nurture the light of our spirit within. Help us, please, to release our fears and our uncertainties, our anxieties, and to know that even in the face of all these challenges at the moment, we are nevertheless perfectly placed in our lives. And so, Divine Spirit, we thank you once more for this shared time in love and unity and in fellowship. Please help us to continue to help ourselves and each other, our beloveds, our families, our friends, our dear pets, and to the whole world, sending out our thoughts and prayers together as one. Help us to keep our eyes focused on the horizon, where we will see and find your eternal light, your abundance, your joy, and equally your comfort, your reassurance, your encouragement, and all that you bring so freely to us. We are eternally grateful. And we send our love out to you, to our beloveds also who have travelled onwards, who've left the earthly world and who are now right by our sides, watching, smiling, bringing their love. We love you dearly. And once more, we thank you for all the things that you do for us that we know about, and equally all the things that we don't know about. Thank you. Amen. Well, thank you, dear friends, for joining in this time. And I do hope that you've taken something from the words, the message that my dear spirit friends have brought today. And we really look forward to being with you again and making more videos that you might like to share in. So until then, keep safe, and as best we can, let's all keep lifting our eyes to the heavens, taking one step at a time, and reaching out our hands, just knowing that we are loved by many in the earthly world, and equally our beloveds who have travelled onwards. So take care, friends, and we look forward to seeing you next time, hopefully. God bless.